number. It's all relative. So Drew Brees is making $24 million next year. Andrew Luck is making $25 million next year. Then you go down the list. Even a guy like Kirk Cousins is going to be set to make $24 million. So if Tannehill's making $19 million a year, is Romo at that $14 million number that crazy? Even if he hasn't played in 2 seasons
as a backup. Now you're saying
not as a backup, as a team. Like when you talk about trades, we say it's impossible to trade him with that salary. You're not going to trade for a guy for $14 million. You got to restructure. But at $14 million, when you're paying, Andy Dalton's making $16 million.
I just get so afraid of the injuries. You know that. I mean, we keep hearing the last couple seasons Romo's in the best shape of his life, and I'm sure he was. But that doesn't matter. Being able to run a lot of cardiovascular doesn't mean your bones and your back and everything. Now $24 million after that, it makes me really nervous as a fan, as an owner, as a teammate. I don't know.
And here's the thing, Peter, and you could probably speak on this a little bit better than I can. When it comes to Romo and what he potentially can make, contracts now can be structured in a way that if he is injured, then you don't get the complete 14. I mean, there's certain installments, a certain amount of money that they can give you, saying if you make it through 10 games, 12 games, 14 games, even 16 games, then you can get everything. You know, what he's saying about the $14 million, that's the going rate. So if he does go somewhere, he is traded, or he does land in a spot where he is the starter, hands down, he deserves 14, 15, 16, upwards to $20 million. Point blank, period.
Especially getting the market of quarterbacks.
Exactly, that's it. There was something wild that Ian threw out there. He had a lot of nuggets just now, and there's something really wild. He said that it's not crazy to imagine Brock Osweiler being released after 1 year of that $18 million contract. I mean, to me, that is the big headline buried in that. And if that's the case, if they do cut ties with Osweiler, I think Houston, whether or not the owner said that the draft is where we're going to look for a quarterback, they're a short term. I mean, that window is, they've got everything else. They've got J.J. Watt. We don't know his future. You got Hopkins in the last year of his contract. You got the big money running back. Clowney's in the final years of his contract. I don't think they're going young quarterback after all these years of mediocre quarterback play.
It's if they get rid of Osweiler and it's either Romo or a young guy in the draft, it's win now versus build now. And if you want to win now, then you do take that risk, like we talk about, risk versus reward, bringing Romo in and seeing if he could bring that type of magic, the same type of magic that the injured Peyton Manning brought to the Denver Broncos.
I'm just thinking about DeAndre Hopkins' fantasy value if Romo goes to Houston.
Are you?
He's going to end up being a second rounder.
He'll be good again?
Absolutely.
I like Fedora.
Incredible. What's your gut telling you at this point about where Romo's going to be quickly?
He's going to be gone from Dallas for sure. I feel like that they're going to restructure and then make it more appetizing for teams to make a deal. And he's going to do it because he understands that in order for him to play, he's going to